Hello and welcome to the channel. I am in the car about to run a quick errand, and I figured I would do a quick car chronicles. So if you'd like to know what's on my mind in the car today, stay tuned. I am preparing for my fall. What that looks like for me is I am cleaning out my flower beds around the house. I am cleaning out my food forest. I am driving, so I'm trying to be careful because there's a lot going on the road where I am right now. I'm cleaning out my containers in my food forest. Everything that I grow food in, everything that I grow flowers in, I am cleaning those out. I am sowing seeds or putting in bulbs of some kind. And I just wanted to come on because I know that many of you are probably doing the same thing. And the one thing I hear is, what can you grow at this time of the year in this zone? Well, I don't talk about growing in anybody else's zone. I talk about growing in my zone. I live in South Texas. That zone used to be 8B, now it's 9A. And so I don't like to say on my channel that I think that this is a good thing to grow right now in whatever zone. Because your zone could be a lot colder. Your zone could get snow. You have different growing conditions in every zone, and it's important that number one, you know what your zone is. If you don't know what your zone is, I recommend you go online and type in grow zone for, type in your state, city and state, and see what it says, and then look up what that means. And that way you understand, if you're new to this, how to put in or when to put in what you need to put in. Excuse me, y'all. I just came from the garden, jumped in the shower, and then jumped in the car. So it's important to know your grow zone, number one. And then once you know your grow zone, then look at the seeds that you have, that you've been given, that you've saved, that you've purchased, however you've acquired your seeds. And you look at that particular item and say, is this an item to grow now? Because it's really not a good idea to try to grow a cold weather item in the warmth of the season. So if you're trying to grow carrots in the middle of August, it's probably not going to work depending on where you live. If you're trying to grow watermelons in October, probably not going to work where you live. And I say that because I have watermelon in the garden right now, and it is coming to the end of its life cycle. I'm going to be pulling it out in the next couple of weeks. We've had our first 3 days of mid to high 40s as our low, but our highs during the days in the 70s and 80s still. And so that's why I want to come on and talk to you all about your grow zone, because I know that for me, I will be growing garlic soon. I'll be putting garlic in soon. And I see different people putting in garlic. And I wanted to come on and just let my new subscribers know that depending on where you live, it may not be time for you to put in garlic. It is still warm here where I live. I just mentioned 70s and 80 degrees. Well, garlic needs a cold snap. It needs kind of like a cold stratification. You can put it in the refrigerator. Right now I have garlic in the refrigerator. I have garlic that I grew last year, garlic that my sister gave me that's sitting outside. But garlic needs cold in order for those cloves to split. And so I put my garlic in the refrigerator. It is the 1st of November. I had to think about what today's date is because life is still chaotic for me. And so I put my garlic in the refrigerator about a week ago. And so I'll be putting my garlic in the ground very soon. But other people who live in zone 5 and above, and even some that are in zone 7, they might be putting their garlic in the ground, because there are some zone 7s that get snow. And I used to live in a zone 7. I also used to live in a zone 5. And I know they get snow and ice. And so right now is a good time for them to put in garlic. But if you don't live in that climate, it may not be a good time for you. So that's what I wanted to come on and quickly talk about today, is knowing your grow zone, knowing when to put your bulbs, your seeds, your rhizomes in the ground. If you're wanting to have a spring flowers, think about how you want that to be done. Many people don't like to cold stratify things outside, putting them in jugs or containers and leaving them outside because they think that looks junky. I get it. It's not for you. So what I like to do is I go outside, and I sometimes, not all the times, I'm guilty of this, so I can say that I'm guilty of this. I don't always read the seed packet. I think about what happens in nature. Excuse me, y'all. I think about what happens in nature. Plants, flowers, trees, all the things that grow outside, they are not waiting for someone to fertilize them, someone to plant their seed. They are spewing their seed by wind. They're dropping them on the ground. Birds and other animals take them here, there, and everywhere and scatter them. And then you end up with plants that you didn't sow seeds for in your garden. And so what I have been doing for quite some time is, a couple of years now, is I will go ahead on and sow seeds in the soil. In the soil, in the ground, in the container, whatever the conditions say they should be. I will either just drop them on the ground and pat them in the soil. I will do a little scratching, put some up under the soil, whatever I feel like doing. Like I said, I don't always follow the instructions, but I do my best, and I sow my seeds. And I hope for the best, because in nature, as I mentioned, there is nobody out there going, okay, little birdies, put the seed over here. Okay, squirrel, put the seed over here. That's not how it works. I think a lot of times we overthink gardening, and when we do that, we find ourselves giving more work for ourselves to do. So that's what I'm on here today to talk about, not giving yourself more work to do. I spent this morning putting down more drip irrigation in my front yard, because I put 2 new flower beds out there. Didn't take y'all along. I do apologize. I was trying to hurry up and get it in. I come in from my morning walk with my neighbor, and I said, well, I'm already warmed up. Let's go ahead on and do this thing, because I have more tasks to do today. So I went ahead on and ran the extra line. I double checked it, then I buried it. Still don't have the backyard irrigation how it needs to be, but that'll be a problem for another day. But I did all that this morning, and then I pulled out a couple of packets of seeds that are in the color palette that I would like to have it growing in my front garden. And I went ahead and sowed seeds here, there, and everywhere. I'm just putting seeds everywhere, y'all. My girlfriend gave me some plants several weeks ago that she didn't want in her new front garden, so I put those in the ground. I took some cuttings from some plants of mine in the back garden. I'm rooting those, and as soon as those get a really nice root system on them, even though it is going to be getting cold, I am going to plant that in the ground and see what happens. This will be the first time me doing that for this particular plant. Sorry, y'all, itchy nose. Because this particular plant that I'm trying to root is a perennial. It comes back every year. And so I just went ahead and took some clippings off of it. I'm trying to propagate it in a container and in water, and it is doing quite well. And so once like I said, once those 2 plants put down roots in the pot, in the ground they go. And we'll see in spring if they were okay and that they'll come back. I really hope they will. We shall see. So that is what I've been doing today, thinking about what I'd like in my front garden, what I want to see. I don't know if I told you all in my previous video when I propagated my roses. I propagated roses in the front garden as well. I have a white rose up there, and so I propagated that white rose, and I think I'm going to be over here. Sorry about that, y'all. And I put it in several different locations in the front garden, and so I am trying to expand the look of my front flower beds because I want flowers like nobody's business. And I'm really hoping that all the little things that I am doing, that I have been doing since this spring of 2025, will pay off. And then by spring of 2026, I'm hoping that I'll see the fruits of my labor. So far, I'm seeing some fruits of my labor. I sowed some seeds many weeks ago, and I'm seeing babies pop up, not only in my front garden, but in my back garden. So sow your seeds, plant your bulbs, take your clippings and cuttings and propagate. Now is a good time to do that indoors. There are some plants like the roses that you can do that directly in the ground outdoors. If you want to plant trees, you all, now is a good time to plant trees. In my area, they are putting trees, I won't say on sale. The word sale, that's misleading. That is misleading. They are having some discounted prices on some trees. Look into your what's the word? Sorry, y'all, I have an itchy nose. Look into your public works in your city, meaning your city publics, your water and all that. Because in my city, they have a program that if you belong to this particular public works system, they will give you $150, but you have to sign up. They will give you $150 for trees and perennial flowers that don't require a lot of water, like a xeriscaping, to go out to nurseries that are participating in the program to be able to buy those things with that $150 and put it in your yard. Now, I don't belong to that particular public city works anymore because I don't live in that part of the city. I live on the outskirts, and so I can't partake. But look and see if that's something that's available in your area. If you have the ability to put trees either in the ground or in a container, I highly recommend, if you're going to get a container and put trees in the container, that you try to get a dwarf container, a dwarf tree, and put it in a container. Because of personal experience, I've had a number of issues with trying to keep trees alive in 20-gallon containers. I know it's possible. You have to keep root pruning them, but I've been having a lot of difficulty, and it's really bothering me that I'm struggling, and my tree, the few trees that I had passed away, that they passed away because of their environment. Some things need to be in the ground, and if you all have noticed here recently in my previous video, I mentioned that I've been putting things in the ground. There is something about the plant contact with soil in the ground that just takes that plant to a higher height. So look at that. Look at the kind of plants you're growing in containers. Look at the space where you live, if you can put something in the ground. If it's possible for you to purchase small plots of land and rent it out like a garden area. I don't know what they call them in the United States. I'm having a brain fart right now, but they call them allotments, or just growing areas overseas where they rent out little plots of land where you can grow your own food. If you can rent something like that or purchase something like that, if you live in an apartment or something like that, And I know it's difficult right now to buy a lot of things, and that's saying a lot for many people. It's hard enough to live in an apartment or a rented space or even your own house these days, because it's difficult. It's financially difficult. Let's just put it like that. It's financially difficult everywhere you turn. And so if you don't live in a place where you have your own land, like if you live in a rented property and you can't put anything to ground, and if you can possibly work with someone to allow kind of like a sharecropping thing. I know there are a few people that are online that they have friends that own land, and their friends allow them to use a small portion of their land to grow food. Do what you can to grow as much as you can, but remember what type of food you're growing, how it can be grown, and if it can be grown in a container versus in the ground. Do you have space for all that? There's just so much to growing, and I know I sound a little kind of chaotic right now. I don't mean to sound like that. I have a lot that I'm thinking about for my own garden, because I grow in containers, and there are some drawbacks to growing in containers, and there are of course some pros as well, but we just have to be mindful of that. So you guys, I am almost at my destination. If I can come back, I will come back. I'll pop back on and maybe talk about a couple more things and then do a closeout. So give me a minute. I'm running some quick errands, dropping some things off, so I'll be right back. I'm back, everybody. I ran into the nursery that's near my house. It's one of the oldest nurseries in my area. It is privately owned, not a big box store. It is owned by the same family for decades, and they had a couple of those really big black circular tubs that I got from my girlfriend, and then I bought several of them myself. Well, they had some for me. They had two, and I came and picked them up. Y'all can hear everything rattling around in the back, for my sister, because I told my sister that I had gotten her something, and I needed to go pick them up. So I picked those up. I also have her green stock that I ordered in September because they had a really big sale. So I have that in the back of the car as well, and I need to drop that off. So that's where I'm headed. I had to run some errands first, but yes, it's important again to know your grow zone, so that when you are growing, you are aware of what you can and cannot put in your area. Know how you need to protect it. I know I had a Barbados cherry last year that I bought. So excited. First time ever having a Barbados cherry. And I read the tag, as I do with all of my trees. Everything I buy, I read the tags, and I do my best to try and not kill it. But our temperatures had gotten in the mid to low 20s, and silly me, I could swear it said that it would be okay. Y'all already know it was not okay. It did not live, and I was kicking myself because it was so big and beautiful, just gorgeous. It had tripled in size. Actually, it had doubled in size. It had doubled in size from when I had purchased it, and it was living its best life. And I put it in I put it in a container, and the car is yelling at me, y'all. And it didn't survive last year's winter. So my girlfriend, her sweet self, she bought me a baby Barbados cherry, and I put it in the garden. And y'all already know I will be covering that bad boy up. It will be protected. It actually flowered, and I didn't check it this morning to see if there was any baby fruits growing on it. I'm not sure if there are, but I did see it flower, so I was so excited about that. But yes, we've got to know what we can and can't grow in our area. I push the envelope. I'm not saying y'all need to be like me. I push the envelope on a lot of stuff. I try experiments, which is why when you all see me in my multiple red shirts, I have more than one, y'all. I've got probably 5 or more. It's talking about it's a God experiment, because that's my garden. I experiment a lot in my garden. I am not a professional. I'm always trying something out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm continuing to try. And so before I wrap this up, in the nursery, as I was standing there dancing, because they were playing some old school music, and I was loving my life right then, and waiting in line, because the line was long, and there was like 5 or so people in front of me, so I'm just enjoying the moment. I happened to look over in their refrigerated area, and I noticed they had a sign. Y'all, they sell nematodes, ladybugs, praying mantis, and something else. I took a picture of it. I'll put a picture either up here or up here, y'all. And I told them that I had bought some online. I bought 2 praying mantis eggs, and then they sent me 2 additional praying mantis eggs, because my praying mantis eggs did not hatch. I watched them like a baby bird. I kept looking at them. I kept looking at them and kept looking at them and kept looking at them. And they did not hatch for me. So they sent me some new ones. They did not hatch for me. I even told them the second ones I got were all tossed around and thrown around in the box. They were not inside the container that they were shipped in. I'm surprised I even got them, because the box itself had holes about this big, and because everything was so disturbed and disrupted inside the box, they could have fallen out in transit. They did have a ice pack in there, but I think that they might have been killed in transit. I think everything I bought was killed in transit. So I am going to go to them in the springtime. I was talking to them about it, and I will buy a praying mantis egg casing and put it in the garden. Because I want to have beneficials in my garden. I will go back at a later time and get some nematodes, because you all know that every time I dig around in my garden, I always manage to get a grub or 2. And funny joke, well, not really funny, but I thought it was hilarious. My girlfriend caught a different girlfriend. I have more than one, y'all. But I keep my friend circle small, because I don't have time for the drama. I'm getting too old for all the crazy. And so one of my friends who lives very close to me, I can get to her house in like 5 to 7 minutes. She's just right up the street. She called me. She's like, "Oh, Fran, what is this?" Well, she sent me a picture. I think she sent me a picture of it. I think she did. We have many conversations, and I might forget, but she sent me a picture. And I said, "Oh, those are grubs. Those are June bug grubs." She said, "Girl, I had my husband come and get them and take them away. I couldn't handle them. I couldn't deal with them. It was just creeping me out." I said, "They don't bite." But she's been making compost. I think for the first time, if memory serves me correctly about our conversation. And she said that she's been making compost. And of course, y'all know, June bugs will find a way to live. And they get in the soil, in the ground, they get in every container you have, they get in compost. If it's out there, June bugs will get in it. And so if you don't know what a June bug is, please look up what a June bug looks like. It is a brownish, caramel colored beetle. And they lay the grubs that you see in the soil. They are ugly, they are a pain in the neck. Of course, they have reasons why they're here in our world, but they're a pain, right? I don't like them. I get rid of them. I chuck them out for the birds to eat them. But she had grubs, and she sent me a message on my phone talking about, friend, what is this? I had my husband come and get them, I just couldn't. Oh my goodness. So I thought it was funny, because I am now the one of two of our friend group. I'm one of the ones that they contact and go, friend, what is this? My plant is not doing well, friend. Why is my plant not doing well, friend? How do I do this? And I'm like, let me see, what's that? Oh yeah, try this or do that. So yeah, y'all, just side note, just a random side note. But yes, they have beneficials, and I will put a picture of what beneficials they have here or here or here. Like I said, y'all, I was too busy sitting there listening to the old school music, jamming in my own personal space, just enjoying my afternoon, because life is chaotic and you got to enjoy the moment when you're in it. And I chose to enjoy the moment. I didn't care that anyone was watching. As a matter of fact, there were two men that were watching. I didn't care. I was standing and I was dancing. I'm having myself a good old time, y'all. I'm even lip singing. Oh my goodness, I was enjoying my time. Oh, let me move over. This semi truck is like, girl, move. Okay, there you go, big boy. You got it. All right, y'all. So I am going to drop all of these goodies off to my sister, because I want her to be able to have a prosperous new garden as well. She's learning new things and trying new things, contacting me, asking me, girl, what's this? Girl, what's that? Girl, why do I have this? What did you plant? Girl, do I need to put more water? So we're having a blast. I'm having a blast gardening with my sister. I'm so much older than all of my siblings by many years. And so it's nice as adults for them to reach out to me and ask me things, especially stuff that I love to do and they're getting into doing. And now we have another connection. Because when you have a sibling that's 7, 9, 19 years younger than you sometimes don't have that strong connection. Because I was out of the house and grown while they were still in elementary school and high school and whatnot, junior high school. So it's nice to be able to connect with them in another way, and gardening is definitely another way. So get out there in the garden, y'all, with your friends, with your children, with your grandbabies. It's been a long time since I've had any of my ducklings in the garden with me, but everybody's grown and gone, y'all. Everybody's grown and gone. Well, all right. Thank you again for listening to me ramble today. I really appreciate it. If you like my car chronicles, take a look at my playlist. I will attach it. There's always something going on over here in ClausenWorld. I wasn't able to get out in the garden with you all today because, like I said, I had some activities I had to go do, and I needed to just hurry up and do those things. Post office run, you know, life is life. I ended up, y'all, quick note, I came outside to pick up some shovels to go work in the front garden, and y'all, there was a rabbit laying in the cattle panel. I thought it was alive, resting. It was not. So I wasn't trying to go sneak up on it, so I ain't gonna lie, I grabbed my daisy and I went out there and I was like, pew pew, what's up, it was not with us. So I went ahead and dug a hole. Y'all know I be digging holes, and I said a little something and put the rabbit in the hole. And so I am growing food and enriching the soil, y'all, in my back garden. So thank you for joining me in the car today. If you like my content, give me a thumbs up. Share my videos. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. And I hope to see you sometime soon either in another Chronicles, in the front garden, in the food forest, in either one of my flower gardens, or in my kitchen, because I'm always doing something. And right now, because of everything going on, I've got the time, so I've been busying my hands. So up until the next time, bye for now.